right, today we're going to learn the opposite of what we learned last time. So we're going to learn how to convert decimals back into fractions. So write your objective to convert decimals into fractions and make sure to write page 7. All right, so I'm just going to label this again one more time to remind you. Everything to the left of the decimal are your whole numbers, and everything to the right of the decimals are the fraction or part. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a decimal that I've been given, and I look at the very last place. Well, this decimal ends in the hundredths place, so I'm just going to take the number 75 and stick it over 100, and that's it. Now, the last step though, because I love simplest form, is we just need to reduce it. So I look at this and think, what can I divide both of these by? Now again, using the greatest common factor will help me to get to my answer the fastest. Not the only way. So I could divide both of these by 5, but then I'm going to still be able to reduce later. I happen to think money, and I think quarters. Well, 3 quarters make 75 cents, 4 quarters make $1. So I'm going to divide by 25 over 25. And that would give me 3, and this would give me 4. So 75 hundredths in simplest form is 3/4. All right, next example, we have 0.36, or if I say it the correct way with place value, that's 36 hundredths because it ends in the hundredths place. So I'm going to take 36 and I'm going to put it over 100. Again, you can spend time finding the greatest common factor. Hopefully, the more you practice, you'll get good at knowing and identifying the greatest common factor. When in doubt, you could always start by dividing by 2. Just know, the smaller number you divide by, you're probably going to have to keep dividing until you get to simplest form. Okay. So if I think about this, I know that 36 is divisible by 6, but 100's not. So I'm going to actually think of the factors of 100. In fact, I'm going to list them because it's going to help me for a lot of these. All right. 1 times 100 would give me 100. 2 times 50. 3 doesn't go in. 4 times 25. 5 times 20, 10 times 10. Really, I can just think about coins that I can use to make $1. I could use a dollar coin. I could use 50-cent piece. I could use quarters. I could use nickels. I could use dimes. All right, so here's all my factors of 100. So it has to be one of these that I can divide by. Well, so I really just need to see, well, what of this is also goes into 36? And I know 4 goes into 36. I know 2 does, but 4 is bigger. So that looks like it's going to be my answer. I'm going to divide this by 4 over 4. So 36 divided by 4 would be 9. And 100 divided by 4 would be 25. So simplest form would be 9/25. All right, looking at my next example, go ahead and identify the place value for the last digit or the digit furthest to the right and make your starting fraction. This time I have 3 decimal spots, and I look here, that's the thousandths place. So I'm going to put 175 over 1,000. All right. So this is one that it might be a little bit harder to find the greatest common factor off the top of your head. But again, I like to think money. So the first thing besides 5 that comes to mind is 25 quarters. So I'm going to go ahead and try to reduce this by 25 because I know quarters would go into $1.75 and also $10. I'm just going to write it down here to have a little more room. And I'm going to divide by 25 over 25. Okay, so if I pretend this is like $1.75, how many quarters would that take? Well, 4 go into $1, and then 3 more, so that's 7 quarters. And then if I was making $10, well, 4 go into $1, so how many would go into 10? 40. All right, so now I just check, can I simplify that anymore? No, because 7 is prime and doesn't go into 40 evenly, so I'm done. This would be 7/40. All right, so now we're gonna look when you have a decimal and you're making it into a mixed number. So you have a whole number here. Well, remember, if you have a whole number when you have a decimal, it's still gonna be a whole number when you have a fraction. So you can actually just take this 2 and put it right here as the whole number in front of your fraction. Now, 6, I look and see what place is that. Well, there's only 1 digit after the decimal, and that's the 10th place. This would be 6/10. Now, I notice I can reduce this. Again, the whole number won't change, so it'll still be 2. But I can divide 6 and 10. They're both even, so I know 2 would work. I can quickly check if anything else would work. Nope. So I can divide both of these by 2. 6 divided by 2 would give me 3. And 10 divided by 2 would give me 5. So this would be 2 3/5. All right. Now, if I want to make it into an improper fraction, I can start by doing the same steps. I know that 3 is a whole number, so 3 will still be a whole when I have a fraction, and I can always turn that into improper. I can actually do a couple things. Let me show you one way first. So if I keep this as the whole number and put the 3 here, and then I have 4 and it's in the hundredths place, I can do 4 hundredths. And then I can reduce that, well, 4 hundredths, I can divide both of those by 4 because I know 4 is a factor of 100. So divide by 4/4, that would give me 3 and 1. 100 divided by 4 is 25. Well, that's the mixed number. And now I could just do my Texas popcorn and make it into improper. So TX, multiply 25 times 3, that's 75. 76/25. So 76/25. That's one way. Now the other way I could do this is I could take all the numbers, 304, and it's still in the hundredths place. I'm not going to go to the thousands just because there's 3 digits. It just matters the actual place value that the last digit is in, and it's in a hundredth place. So that'd be 100. And then I could divide this. Well, same thing, it would divide by 4, or 4/4. And when I divide 304 by 4, I would get 76. And when I divide 100 by 4, I would get 25. So I still get the same answer no matter which method I use. So pick the one that works best for you. Okay, one more thing I wanted to show you really quick is what were to happen if you had a decimal that was a repeating decimal. So I'm going to show you, we're just going to divide this since we have some extra room here. And I'm going to show you an example. Let's say I had 0.3 repeating. How would I change that to a fraction? Well, one of the ways is you can have some of these memorized. But if I don't have it memorized, instead of putting it over 10, because it's repeating, you're going to put it over 9. So I would actually just take this number, put it over 9, and then I'd reduce. I can divide by 3/3, and that would give me 1/3. So 0.3 repeating is actually just 1/3. Now, what if I had 2 digits repeating? So for example, what if it looked like this? Well, same thing. I'm gonna put it over 9, but however many digits I have, that's how many 9s I have to write. So instead of putting it over 9, I actually have to put it over 99. So 22 over 99. Now I can reduce this. I can divide these by 11. That would give me 2, and that would give me 9. So 0.22 repeating is actually just 2/9. Okay, and likewise, if I had 3 digits repeating, let's say I had 0.666. Okay, I have 3 digits, so I write all 3, and I have to put them over 3 9s, or 999. And again, I could reduce from there. Well, I could divide by 333 over 333. That would go in twice, and that would go in 3 times. So reduced, this would be the same as 2/3. All right, keep practicing changing fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions, and we'll see you next time.